Now let's get into fluency. When we're thinking about fluency with our shapes and figures and our composing and decomposing, we want students to be able to create shapes, then that's composing shapes, talk a lot about these shapes, and also decompose and partition shapes. What are some ways that we could practice this? Well, one of the ways, we've already looked at this, is to use pattern blocks. These are really nice for both composing and decomposing. And if you don't have the hands-on pattern blocks, don't you worry. There are virtual pattern blocks available for free, where students then could use those virtual pattern blocks to both compose and decompose. Students could also build and draw and then partition. So maybe you call out for students to draw a shape or construct a shape. Here maybe they're using their geoboards. And then challenge students to partition that shape into halves, thirds, or fourths. This is nice on the geoboard because you could use another rubber band to do that. And if you don't want to use the hands-on geoboards, go ahead and use the digital geoboards. But then you want students to be talking about how they constructed their shape and then how they partitioned their shape. This would involve a lot of use of really strong math vocabulary. And then you also could engage students in math writing. Here maybe we have a word bank there and then a writing prompt. And so then students have to compare these two shapes. So they might say a rectangle is a two-dimensional shape and a rectangular prism is a three-dimensional shape. Rectangles have four sides and 4 vertices. Rectangular prisms have 12 what? Well, they have 12 edges, 6 faces, and 8 vertices. So through mathematics writing, which you could also then have students read this aloud to practice their oral production of these terms, through this mathematics writing, we can emphasize a lot about these different shapes and how to compose and decompose these shapes. So I'd like you to push pause right now and think about what are some of the fluency activities you use to help students create, compose, and decompose. And of the activities that we just looked at, would you try some of these activities in your classroom?